Hi, I'm Tim and thanks for watching this video. You might be familiar with Alta Labs equipment from watching some of my videos. Well, they produce an 8-port switch, a 16-port switch, 24 and also a 48-port switch. But in addition to this, they also produce this, which is their S12 distribution switch or aggregation switch, whichever you like to call it. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at this switch. We'll take a closer look, we'll go through some of the specs, and then we'll get it set up and powered on and adopted into the Alta Labs Cloud Controller. So let's get started. So here we are, and in the box you get the power lead, you get the usual quick start guide with the QR code to be scanned to get more information. You get 2 standard rack mount ears, as you'll see there. However, these are not used for rack mounting. Only one is used for rack mounting, but if you want to wall mount it, then you would use both of these short rack mount ears here. But to rack mount it, what you use is this extended bracket and also the short bracket. So the short bracket will go at one side and then the extended bracket at the other side. Also in the box, you get a set of screws. So these 8 screws here are used for the rack mount ears. You get a set, which is nice to see, of rack studs duos. So these could be used for rack mounting it in your rack cabinet or network cabinet, whichever you like to refer to them as. And then of course, we get the main thing, which is their S12 distribution switch or aggregation switch, whichever you like to refer to them as. So this is a 12-port one. Now it has 12 SFP cages. So these are all covered over, as you can see, with the protective covers. And these work at either 1 gigabit, 2.5, 5 gigabit or 10 gigabits per second. So there's 12 of those. On the front also, at the left hand side, is the Alta Labs logo, which lights up in various colours, and then we get the 12-port light LEDs there. So there's 2 rows of 6 there. At the left hand side we get the holes for mounting it to the wall mount bracket or the rack mount bracket, and also on the right hand side is the same. On the back we get the power connector, and also we get 1 cooling fan. So there's 1 cooling fan in this. Now I haven't tried it yet, as I'm not sure how loud it is, but once we get it in the rack powered on, I'll let you know what the noise level is like for this single fan. Hopefully it should be fairly quiet, I would think. On the bottom we get the label, as you can see, Alta Labs model number, which is S12, AC input, which is 100 to 240 volts, 50 to 60 hertz, and it's rated at 1.5 amps maximum. So that is the S12 Alta Labs distribution switch. So I'll get these rack mount ears fitted right now, and then what we'll do after that is I'll get it installed and I'll show you me connecting it with the LC fiber cables from the Route 10 and also the S24 switch. But before we do that, we'll just go through some of the basic specs for this. Now it's a 12-port SFP Plus distribution switch. So there's various mounting options. You can mount it to a wall using the short brackets, as I've mentioned, or to a rack mount option, which I'll be doing. Now you can set it up via the Alta Labs Cloud Controller, the Alta Control local controller, or you can actually set it up via Bluetooth using the mobile app. Now it supports VLAN stacking, egress and ingress rate limiting, IGMP snooping, 802.1x authentication, network loop detection, customizable dashboard, status snapshots, device cards and site manager. It's high performance connectivity. As I've said, it supports 1 gigabit, 2.5, 5 and also 10 gigabits on each of the ports. Now for the dimensions, it's 331 millimeters by 229 by 44 millimeters, which equates to 13.03 inches by 9.01 inches by 1.73 inches on the depth. The weight is 4.4 kilos. It's powder coated and it's a metal chassis, so to help with heat dissipation, and it's a metallic grey colour. The switching capacity is 240 gigabits per second with non-blocking throughput up to 120 gigabits per second. The forwarding rate is 178.6 gigabits per second, and the LEDs on the front light up blue for 1 gigabit or white for 10 gigabits. Now I'm not sure about the 2.5 and 5 gigabits, what colour lights those are. The SD RAM inside is 512 megabytes with flash memory of 128 megabytes. The MAC address table size is 32K. It supports energy efficient Ethernet. There's also a factory reset button here at the right hand side. For Bluetooth setup, it supports 2.4 GHz and that's on Bluetooth Low Energy. And for the power, it has an idle power consumption of 10 watts with the maximum power consumption being 35 watts. The operating temperature is between 0 and 50 degrees Celsius, which equates to 32 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. So there we go, that's the basic specs for the S12 distribution switch from Alta Labs. So what we'll do next is I'll get these rack mount ears fitted, and then I'll take it into the rack and I'll show you me fitting it in the rack and connecting it to the two Alta Labs devices, being the Route 10 and S24 PoE switch. So we'll get right to that now. So here we are. As you can see, I've mounted the S12 distribution switch into the rack, and it's mounted so that the switch is at the right hand side of the cabinet. The extended rack mount ears to the left. Now it's powered on. Now it's basically silent, so you can barely hear the fan at all, which is good to hear. So what we're going to do is connect the fibre cable coming from the Alta Labs Route 10, and we're going to connect it into port 1 on the S12 using the fibre module. Now I'll put links to the fibre modules and the LC to LC OM3 fibre cables in the video description, so you can check those out if you want to get some. So with the module inserted, we'll then connect the cable from the Route 10 into the S12. You'll see that the port light is lighting up white, which means that it's a 10 gigabit connection, and then we'll connect the fibre cable coming from the S24 PoE switch into port number 3 on the S12 distribution switch. So I'll take out the cover, insert the fibre module into the cage for the SFP, lock it into place, and then connect the fibre cable up from the switch into the S12 distribution switch. And as you can see, we've now got a second white light for port number 3, so they're both connected with the link speed of 10 gigabits per second. So that's it, all done. And what we'll do now is go back to the computer and we'll adopt the switch into the Alta Labs Cloud Controller. So here we are, and as you can see, I've logged into my Alta Labs Cloud Controller dashboard. So we're at the dashboard screen. So what we'll do is click on Network, and you'll see that the switch has now popped up as a new switch. So all we do is click Setup, and then just wait for it to start showing data rate like it does for these other two devices here. So once it's changed from connected to the data rate, we can then proceed to update the firmware, which it looks like there is a new version here according to the up arrow icon. So now we've got the data rate, so that just took a few seconds, and then what we'll do is click on Update, and then for Update Device we will select Right Now, and then we'll just wait for the update to complete. So it's downloaded the update, so what we'll need to do now is just wait for it to apply the update, and as you can see we've now got a yellow tick, so we need to reboot it. So what we'll do is click to reboot now, and you'll now see that the device is showing on version 2.3N, and we've got the data rate, so the yellow tick has actually disappeared as well. So that means it's rebooted itself and it's all up and running. So that's how easy it is to add it into the cloud controller. It's just the same for the local Alta controller. If you're running the Alta controller, it's just as easy to do it in there as well. So what we can do is name the switch. So we'll call it S12, press enter, and then you'll see we've got the name of S12, so we know what the device is. Now we can click on the icon for the device here, and this will reveal the ports. So it will tell you that port 1 is connected, port 2 is empty, and port 3 is connected as well. So all these grayed out are disconnected ports. So we can click on the port, and then what you can do is set it to VLANs. So at the moment it's selected as VLAN 1 or all, as there's only one VLAN set up, but you can actually change the native VLAN for that port, so you can actually have VLAN pass through on these ports as well. So we can go into settings, and here you can change the management VLAN number, set the LED to what colour you want: white, red, yellow, orange, turquoise, green, blue, purple, and off. So I like to set mine as off. However, the link lights, you can also change those. So you can enable or disable the link lights if you want to do so. You can also add radius here, and there's also an advanced tab where you can set the priority, location, and reboot the device as well. So we'll click save to change the LED, and then hide the advanced, go back to ports, and you'll see we've got the legend which you can hover over, and it tells you if the port's white, it's set to 10 gigabits per second. So as these are white, these are linked up to the switch from the Route 10 and also the S24 PoE at 10 gigabits per second. So that's really easy to do, simple to use. What I like about their interface for their web GUI is that it's very easy to navigate, nice clean looking, not too cluttered. So that will do it for this video. I'll put links in the video description for various product links and also more information. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back again soon with more videos. Take care. Bye for now.